our dear viewers, and welcome to our show. Today we're going to be talking to you about these treats that we have during the holy month of Ramadan, how we can make some of them healthy, and what we can really do in the ways we cook our food to really lower the calories in it. And the first thing I want to start with, just as a reminder of the nutritional fact of it, are dates. Of course, we can't break our fast without consuming dates. I thought it would be good for you to know that around 3 dates will contain about 60 calories, which is really a decent amount to start your day with. The great thing about breaking your fast with dates is that you are getting an immense amount of energy immediately. So dates are easily digested in your body. They do contain a lot of fiber, so the sugars in the dates will be regulated when they break down in your digestive tract, and they will give you this immediate amount of energy. Definitely something that you should be considering when you're breaking your fast. But of course, we don't just stop at dates, and we do continue on, and we definitely, or most homes here in Kuwait, start breaking their fast with the fried goods. So things like sambusas and kubbas. And just for you to have for your general knowledge, that they usually contain about 50 to 60 calories per piece, depending on how much or how deep fried they are, and then how big they are. Things with sambusas, of course, the more layering of the pastry you put, the more oil it will take in, and again, the more calories it will have. So a good general tip is for you to have it as thin as possible. If you are someone that enjoys putting cheese in it, then maybe choosing a low fat and a low salt cheese option as your sambusa stuffing will actually lower the calorie amount to something less than 60 calories, because once you think of it, 60 calories per piece is not really much, but that's if you stop at one piece, which many of us don't. Now, what I recommend for a lot of people to do is to lightly spray it with some olive oil or canola oil, or maybe brush it and then bake it. Every once in a while, if you do enjoy the fried treat, you can have that. But again, you do need to keep in mind that they do take in a lot of oil, and therefore the caloric amount really goes up. And for your digestive tract, when you're fasting and breaking your fast, having something that high in a lot of fats and oils could actually harm your digestive system. Please stay tuned. There are other foods we're going to be talking about and their nutritional value. Welcome back, our dear viewers. So let's take a look at the second course we usually have when we're breaking our fast. Some families like to have, haris and yirish as their second course meal. And of course, they do have many health benefits. Definitely, they do contain a great amount of grains, and especially whole grains, which are very beneficial. Again, they contain a lot of fiber. Do keep in mind that they come at about 200 calories per cup. Again, that is the average, and it all depends on how much oil you put in them. And of course, the type of oil really makes a difference. So people that choose to have lard in their haris or yirish actually tend to have more calories, and they will have a heavier dish. So it is advised that you use some form of a vegetable oil and try to limit it when you are cooking that food. I mean, we all understand that these are foods that we love to have, and they're comfort foods during the holy month of Ramadan. maybe changing the way we cook them could actually enhance the nutritive value in them and lower the calorie amount. Of course, you can always use chicken instead of meat, and that will give you a leaner option of protein. And you can do these things just a couple of times a week to switch things up. This way you're lowering the calorie amount, especially if you plan to be eating other things. Tashrib, on the other hand, comes with a huge 600 calories per cup. Now that's a great deal. If you're having it as your only meal, then that could work, although it is still a lot of calories for a main dish. Of course, you need to try to limit the amount of starchy vegetables it has. So maybe cutting down on the amounts of potatoes or pumpkins it has in it, and maybe changing the way you cook it. Of course, the type of bread you use really does make a difference. Rgag bread will have a lesser caloric amount than the Irani bread that some houses use. So perhaps making that switch could lessen the caloric amount in the tashrib. You can again still enjoy it. Perhaps add a little bit more protein. So add maybe more meat to help you feel full and eat a lesser amount. Stay tuned because we are going to be getting into desserts and beverages. Welcome back, our dear viewers. So let's take a look at the beverages that we commonly have when we're breaking our fast. A lot of us use these syrupy beverages, and usually we measure them out by tablespoons. A lot of families just like to eyeball the amount that they add into the water. Do keep in mind that about 2 tablespoons will contain around 120 calories, and you're looking at calories that primarily come from sugars. So you're really not getting many benefits. Instead of relying on these sugary drinks, I do advise that maybe you consider having leban as your beverage of choice, or even water that comes at 0 calories. And this way you won't hinder your caloric amount on beverages that actually don't fill you up. With leban, you can at least guarantee that you are getting a certain amount of protein and carbohydrates, so there is some nutritive value to it besides the calories and the sugar. And when it comes to the Ramadan desserts, a lot of us really can't resist many of the desserts, but there are ways that we can lessen the amount of sugar or calories in them. With things like gaymat and sab al-kafsha, you're looking at about 40 to 80 calories per piece, which could be quite a lot, again, because we don't usually stop at one piece. So what I do recommend you doing is maybe using a sweetener as your syrup and not using actually sugar to make your syrup. Maybe making the amounts much smaller could actually help. Definitely don't have these treats on a daily basis to avoid overeating them and increasing the caloric amount in them. Mhallabiya is another dessert of choice, and again with mhallabiya, the calories could really go up. So you could be having around 200 calories per cup. Maybe choosing a low-fat milk to make your mhallabiya and adding in more of some of the nuts and the dried fruits could actually lower some of the caloric amount. Of course, always using smaller portion sizes, so smaller cups where you feel like you're still having the full cup but you're not really getting the 1 cup amount, is a great idea to reduce the amount of food and the amount of calories you're taking in. As I've advised you previously, do take breaks when you are breaking your fast. This way you'll give your digestive tract some time to digest the food and not to feel overwhelmed. Try to avoid the fatty foods as much as you can when you're breaking your fast. Think of it literally as the breakfast that you're having first thing in the morning. So you want something that's light on your digestive system so you don't crash afterwards and you still are filled with energy throughout the limited time that you are awakened. We really do hope you enjoyed today's episode, and we'll see you all next time.